Yeah, there's still real anger on the crossbench over this one. I'm joined now by Independent MP for Fowler, Di Lee. Di, where did you stand on the gambling reforms? Did they strike the right balance? Does more need to be done?
Look, I think that there were 9 of us, including Anat and Alib, who voted against the gambling bill, and we were very, as we've heard, the crossbench were very disappointed. And I spoke to Andrew Wilkie, who has been on this issue for over a decade, and I said, you know, we're hearing the same thing. Things have not changed, and so the decision have been to complete ban, because there's no point talking about making small changes, because that's going to be more administratively a nightmare than just a total gambling ban, online ads. Because, kids watching a footy or game with their parents, sitting there seeing all these little ads coming up, you can condition them to think that is actually a normal thing, and so that's what the concern is.
Don't you think there has been big changes after these laws from next season? Say if you're watching the NRL, you now won't have the logos on the jerseys. It won't be through every part of the stadium. Yeah,
there is some changes there, but I think it's really it's quite weak, because what we're saying is no gambling ad totally, full stop. It's as simple as that. So, we're kind of doing bits and pieces, and that's what I'm saying. It's a total gambling ad, because that is where the danger is. You don't want it to be normalised, and it can be through these small changes.
Do you hear mixed views in Fowler, though, about, there's plenty of people who don't have a problem with gambling. They like a punt. What do you hear from voters?
Fowler is one of the most low socioeconomic electorate in the country. And we have one of the biggest gambling losses through pokies.
Yeah, so they're not touching any of that.
Yeah, we're not touching that, but we're not even counting the losses through online betting. So we're only talking about what's lost through pokies. Huge, and data and the statistics have shown that my local government, Fairfield Council, as well as Liverpool City Council, LGAs, those are where the hardworking and poor families are losing a lot to gambling. So for me, we as members of Parliament, should make sure that communities that are very vulnerable are protected, because they go out, they might watch a bet online, and there's an ad popping up. It does things unconsciously, so they don't even know that it's playing to them. So I think that, and as you've heard, Senator Pocock and Allegra Spender, member for Wentworth, and all the other crossbench who voted against this are very disappointed that it's not strong enough to tackle the actual issue. Like I said, Andrew Wilkie and Rebecca Sharkey, and before that, I know that Nick Xenophon has been on this issue, so we're still talking about it in 2026 is a problem.
We're still going to be talking about it for a long time, I think. A final one, the News Media Bargaining Code. I know as a former journo, you've got views on this. It's been strengthened now.
Yes, look, I think the government, we have to acknowledge the government has made some really good, decisions and good changes and have taken on board. But I think the amendment that I made is that ensuring that the bargaining is not just done with 2 large media organisations and what's left is just distributed to 6, for instance. So we want to restrict that, but of course the government did not accept that. But I think it's at least a small, some progress towards...
Are you expecting pushback from the big tech companies?
Well, that'll be interesting. That's why we're hoping that whichever way, they have to come to the table one way or another, and the government has increased, I think, from 2.75% if they went for the other option. But local journalism, local news is very, very important for communities like Fowler. There's no longer local papers, but at least in regional, there are still regional papers that are there, and they should be included in that bargaining. So at least it's a small, well, not small, but it's actually some good progress. And I've spoken to the independent news local Independent News Association, and they are very, very happy generally with the bill.
Oh, good to hear. Di Lee, Independent MP for Fowler, great to see you as always. Thanks,
Trudy. Thank you.